This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and this is part 4, I think it's part 4, of my conversation with Ted. Ted is 85 years old, which is absolutely amazing. He told me his father lived to 105. So tell me your secret, your elixir of life.
Well, to begin with, I inherited fabulous genes and realized that when I was about 40 years old. Right. So I started paying attention. It's very important to pay attention to yourself and care for yourself. And I began...
And love yourself.
Most important. Number 1, love thyself first. But I started learning about what works for me. And I did a lot of reading, a lot of exercise, a lot of dancing.
What sort of exercise?
Bicycle riding, ping pong. Ping pong is a heart exercise. I feel I'll never die of a heart attack because I play ping pong every day of my life for an hour until I perspire.
Really?
And I stop. And I become a very good ping pong player. And then right afterwards, I cool off in a pool hall in the club where I live.
And
now,
you live in Florida?
Yes, I live in Florida now, and it's heavenly. Beautiful weather, near the beach. I have everything I need there. And I feel it's a very good place to stay healthy because the weather is always beautiful. It rains for 15 minutes. In fact, the first thing I learned when I moved to Florida was the yearly wind speed. And that is 12 knots an hour, which happens to be the wind blows the clouds away, and it only rains for rarely more than 15 minutes.
How many years have you lived in Florida?
7 years.
7. Was that from New York?
Yes.
After you retired?
Yes, and I started drinking distilled water.
Right.
And I figured out that we are all 80% water.
Yes.
But what kind of water? It's distilled. We are distilled water. So if we drink something absolutely pure with nothing in it, what happens is it goes into your stomach and then through the liver. The liver is your filter. It filters out all the germs and chemicals, and then the oxygen in the water goes into your bloodstream and regulates the white blood corpuscles that if you do not regulate them, there's a good chance you'll get what's that disease?
Leukemia.
Leukemia, exactly.
My husband died of leukemia.
So I use it as a preventative.
Would you add lemon or lime?
Yes, apples.
Apples?
Yes.
You mean a slice of apple?
I drink pure apple cider.
Oh, apple cider.
There's a chemical in apple cider called malic acid, which dissolves crystallized uric acid,
yes.
which is gout.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so...
But it tastes horrible.
Not fresh apple cider. Fresh apple cider sold cold in most of the big supermarkets.
In America.
Not apple juice.
No.
Apple cider. You must drink it cold. And magnesium, the combination of apple cider, malic acid in the apple cider, and a magnesium pill dissolves crystallized uric acid. See? So I use it as a preventative.
I was thinking of vinegar, apple cider vinegar.
Well, I use apple cider vinegar in cooking.
Yeah, that's the one that tastes revolting.
I control my diet by cooking myself. I'm a pretty good chef. And I eat a lot of food, but the secret is fresh food. Nothing very little out of a can, nothing frozen, just fresh food and mostly vegetables. I'm about a 85-90% vegetarian.
Yes, me
but
too.
I cheat.
Yeah.
And it's okay to cheat, because if you don't and become a vegetarian and then one day you do cheat, you develop guilt.
Well, of course, the food in America is very, very fattening, and America has a very high rate of obesity.
I declared war on fat.
Yeah.
I buy 20 pounds of chicken thighs a month. Mm-hmm. I take off all the skin, I take up all the fat, and I boil it. I cut them in half.
You make chicken soup.
Yes, basically, yes. I cut off the nub on the drumstick, which exposes the marrow.
Uh-huh.
So when I boil it,
yeah,
the soup has at least good things added to it.
Yeah.
And
then I put it. You know the book Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes, I believe that.
Absolutely.
But I take after I boil the chicken, I put 3 or 4 in a plastic bag and I freeze it. So I know I have chicken sandwich, chicken and avocado, salad, chicken, anything, anytime I want for a month in my freezer. And we cook with that a lot, both of us. My significant other. And we have so many things in common that we get along on almost everything, and that's the secret, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, how can I improve what I have right now? And going on a 80%, 90% vegetarian diet really helps, especially with distilled water. And lately they have found that distilled water is very important.
When you mean distilled, you mean filtered water?
No.
Oh, what's the difference?
The difference is distilled water is boiled.
Yes.
And the water vapor that is boiled, it goes through a tube and into another vessel. That water vapor turns into distilled water.
But can you not take a kettle and just boil the water?
But you've got to catch the water vapor that comes out.
Oh.
Because that's pure. All the impurities, when you boil it, go to the bottom of the pot.
Right.
See, when you boil it, and water vapor is your actual distilled water with nothing in it. So, if you drink half a cup of tap water,
yeah,
it takes 3.5 hours for that oxygen to get into your bloodstream. With distilled water, it takes 1 hour. So you're feeding your blood oxygen 3 times faster than any water you drink, including water sold in bottles, strained water, filtered water, I mean.
I mean, can you buy distilled water?
Most supermarkets have it, especially
in
the ones
America.
in Florida.
No.
Especially the ones in Florida.
Vista, no.
Okay.
Anyway, so we pay attention to ourselves. It's very important to love yourself and do the best you can. So one day, I hurt my hip playing ping pong, and the pain didn't want to go away. And I said to myself, let me start taking, for 4 months straight, I didn't drink distilled water, but distilled water is found in all juices. All fresh juice contains distilled water.
Okay.
So I started drinking apple cider, you see, for 2 reasons. It's distilled water, and it dissolves crystallized uric acid in the body.
Right.
So I started drinking
There's no sugar.
No sugar. No, I don't eat 5 white things. Salt, sugar, rice, pasta, and bread.
Carbohydrates.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much, Ted. I'm sure we'll be following the Ted regime. Yes?
It works.
I know.
And look at
I can
me.
see, look at you.
As they say in French, regardez-moi.
Exactement.